7 important lessons I've learned selling property in Dubai. After years of selling property in this market, I've learned some amazing lessons and I've learned some bad lessons. And I'm going to share them both with you. And who this applies to is both investors and I guess brokers as well. I'm sure you will find something valuable. So stay tuned and listen in and make sure you stay to the end because every lesson you're going to hear now can benefit you in some way. What's going on, guys? My name is Joe Butler. As always, I am bringing you the most informative real estate content in all of Dubai. If you want to figure out how to get in touch with me, follow my links below and come speak to one of me or my team and put you in the right direction to making a solid investment in the Dubai market. Lesson number 1. People want advice until they don't. And what do I mean by that? Well, you see, one thing I've learned is that people come to me all the time for advice. I get many calls booking from YouTube. And some investors already have an idea of what they want, but they don't really know exactly what that is. They just can't put their finger on it. And they think that, by speaking to me, they will get the solution. And at least that's what they should think, because I will always put 100% effort into guiding someone through a profitable investment. But what I've noticed is people come to me and they already have it in their head that, I think I'm going to do this, but I'm just going to reconfirm if I should. Let's speak to Joe. And then what happens is they come to me, they take my advice. They don't really know if they want to listen to it because they want to know it themselves or at least think about it themselves. And then they go away and make an investment on their own without my guidance. Maybe they go and talk directly to a developer. And I'll give you an example of this. Just recently, a client came to me saying they're going to come to Dubai and they're going to take my advice and we're going to sit down and we're going to break down like a profitable off-plan investment. And it came to it and I reached out to the person and they said, I've already actually made a very rational decision and put a deposit down on a development by a developer out here. And what we learned was that the price person had paid for this, or at least opted in to pay for, was pretty expensive. It was located outside of the Dubai Business Bay downtown region, probably like 15 minutes away. And the person was paying well over 3.5 million dirhams for it. Now, I would understand if this was some kind of branded residence. Now, it was from a top tier developer. However, the agent told the client they can achieve over 350,000 dirhams per year in rental, or maybe even up to 450 by the time of handover in 2027, or maybe in 2028, either one. And I was looking at the client and I was saying, what makes you think that? I mean, go downtown right now. Okay, you can go and stay in one of the most premium residences like the Burj Khalifa, okay, the Armani residences, a dress. You can get something for that price point. And now you think 15 minutes out of the city, you can achieve those. I was like, what's happened is you've been misled, you've been misguided, and you've kind of been forced into an investment because you wanted to take the initiative and figure it out yourself. This has backfired on you, and now you're trying to get a refund and a EOI back, spending over £10,000 that you didn't have to spend. Now you're in this predicament. And, I just said, if you'd have just waited and come and met me, and I would have advised you properly. But some people don't like to do that, and some people like to just do the things on themselves. But if you aren't careful, that can backfire. It's number 2. Hard sales tactics, they work. Unfortunately, I'm not a hard sales tactic kind of guy. I'm not a guy that's ever going to pressure a client into a deal. And again, I've seen this time and time again, horror stories, just like the first one, but many more where people are pressured into deals. And yeah, you know what? Maybe I've missed out on a lot of sales. I don't find that like a bad thing, I don't feel like I would ever want to pressure someone into a situation, especially when they may not have enough money and they're really stretching their budget. But, if they come to me and say, Joe, I've got this amount of money, should I invest this? I'm like, if it's a good investment, I will push you to get that investment if it's necessary. And we know that stock is running low and we need to get, act fast. Then, of course, I'll push where necessary. But, hard sales tactics, as much as they work, again, like I said, that's not me. But, if you are in the market to sell property, then, you can act a bit hard and you will get a lot of sales. But as I said, hard sales tactics do work, but I prefer the long game. Lesson number 3, the importance of education and transparency. We base our core business on trust and transparency. And I say this all the time. I'm a massive believer in being transparent about everything, okay? And when I break down anything for a client, all right? And I guess this is why so many people come to me, because they say, Joe, your content's so real and raw. And, because I'm educating people, all right? I educate and I'm transparent. And if I don't like something and I think something is, not really the case, like, the first lesson I told you where someone was promising nearly 400,000 dirham in rent, which is just a joke. I would never do that. I would say, respectfully, in this location, if you bought for 3.5 million dirhams, you'd probably be looking at like 250, maybe 280K per year. I was like, that's kind of realistic based on today's market. I was like, you know, potentially we may hit 300,000 one day in the future, but do not bank on that. And again, this is what I preach to everybody. You know, I'm a very transparent guy. I don't need, you know, all of this. I don't need to lie to somebody to get business, basically. And I think so that lesson of education and transparency is one of my key ones. Okay, lesson number 4, timing is everything. So going back to what I said, you know, there are situations where you can get pre-launch access into certain deals, or for example, when we get a distressed deal come up to the market, if you're ready to go, then you can, you know, win tenfold in this industry. I'll give you 2 examples. One is a pre-launch on somewhere like the Palm Jebel Ali. If you can get in from the very start, you know, and you can get the pre-launch access price points, all right, okay, yes, it's a longer term investment, but if you're going to buy something now, all right, and there's many communities like this as well, or the Bay Villas by Nakheel on the Dubai Islands, if you were able to get in at the first hurdle, all right, and snatch up a unit at the original first launch price, then I'll tell you now, you're going to be the one that benefits the most. Another example is when we had one of our units in the Meadows, which we used for renovation on the park. It was the best priced unit off market. Our client was thinking, should I go for it? Should I not? You know, is this the right investment? And this is before they've, you know, sort of seen what we've done, you know, firsthand. And, you know, we're at the stage where we're just showcasing how we do our developments. Eventually the client went for it. Okay. And now we're like 3 months or 2 months into construction, and we're already getting offers where people are looking to purchase this property, where my client is going to be making over 30% returns, okay? Which is just insane, you know, because now we're renovating it and bringing it up to a certain standard. And because the client went for it at the right time and trusted us, well, now they're going to be benefiting from this like hugely, okay? So timing is everything. Lesson number 5, luxury doesn't necessarily always mean quality. Now, anything that we build when we're developing and we say it's luxury, it's quality. But when you're seeing all of these developments in Dubai and, you know, from the maybe newer developers or these branded residences, again, as I say in many of my videos, branded residences are amazing if you buy the right ones. But there are some that we see which are just stamped with, you know, big names, you know, like Lamborghini or whatever in different locations. And they say they're luxury, but when it actually comes to handover, people are surprised and say, well, how is this different than the rest? That's what I say, you know, just because they say it's luxury does not mean it's quality. So again, this is where you have to come in and do your due diligence, or just work with the right people like us, where we can really suss out to see if someone is really delivering luxury like they say they should, or whether they're just saying it to sell you a product. 2 lessons left. Lesson number 6, building a strong network in Dubai is key. Okay, so when you come to Dubai for the first time, it's overwhelming. You don't know where to go. You don't know what to do and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, you're just kind of trying to find your feet. But eventually, when you've been in the market for a long time, or you've lived here for a long time, and I'm not necessarily just saying in real estate, but you can start connecting the dots. There are so many amazing people you can meet. And what I say to everybody is put yourself out there, okay? Go to events, go to different places, go and network, because in Dubai, you just don't know who you're going to be meeting, or who you're going to be sitting down next to, having lunch with, or going to the gym and bumping into somebody. Dubai is one of the most influential places I've seen where you can meet high net worth individuals, you can meet solid driven business people. And to be honest, I found a lot of people are willing to help, as long as, you know, you're not just asking for a handout and you're willing to work and you're willing to put the work in, the grind in, then, you know, great things can come from living in Dubai and building your network. And for me personally, networking with other brokers has always been a key thing to our business success, and also developers, and just putting all the dots together, not being too arrogant and just saying, nope, this is me, I'm going to do this all alone. You know, being able to expand your network, super important. So remember that one. And lesson number 7, personal brand means more than you think. Now, this is obviously coming from someone who you're watching on your screen right now. And I've spent the last 2 years building my personal brand, and I would say very successfully. I've connected with hundreds of investors all over Dubai and the world who I'm helping guide through a solid investment. And I couldn't have done this without the power of YouTube, social media. And you know what? It's been a grind. It's been a struggle. There's been low points, but there's been many more high points than low points. And I continue to build and grow my community. And I would love for you to be part of it and be involved with us. So listen, guys, if you've enjoyed this video and you've picked up anything from these 7 lessons, well, you know what to do. If you want to get in touch with me, all you need to do is follow the links below. Me and my team will be helping you out and guiding you through a solid investment in Dubai. Thank you very much.